Good afternoon, and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 23rd of May. It is Friday. We do have a 12-game main slate ahead of us this evening. We should be pretty clear of any real weather. Slight concerns in Boston and New York. I haven't seen any updates yet to see if those concerns have gone up or down since this morning. But I do think we should see all 12 games play this evening. This is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. I will be utilizing DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play FanDuel, I would cut my pool into a half or even a third. Pricing isn't as tight. It allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. You don't have to be as creative over there. With that said, let's just jump into the pitching options on this particular slate. Try to get game by game here done in about 13 or 14 minutes. First game, Toronto, Tampa Bay. Great environment for hitting, nearly 90 degrees. Wind slightly blowing out. What are we going to do? I wrote down both pitchers, but to be honest, I don't think I want to end up on either. I mean, I do want to use left-handed pitching in Tampa Bay, like we've been saying it for weeks, but I just don't know if we can trust Eric Lauer to get us deep enough or to throw enough pitches. I'm not really sure what to expect out of somebody like Lauer. Let's put it that way. Tampa Bay, Team ISO, 095 versus left-handed pitching. As a team, 095. Some pretty soft stuff going on from Tampa Bay against left-handed pitchers. So as you can tell, that's why I really want to be able to use Lauer in this spot. Tampa Bay is a minus 142 favorite. Lauer's K-prop at 3.5 juice to the over. Rasmussen's 4.5 juice to the under. I just don't think I'm going to utilize Rasmussen as much as I don't mind him as a pitcher. Just generally don't have a ton of success picking on Toronto with pitching. We've had some recently, but I think that's come on some smaller slates where we felt like we had to utilize pitchers against them. I just don't think I want to do it in this spot, in this ballpark. Especially because they have can have a right-hand heavy lineup. And I believe right-handed bats have fared pretty well in this ballpark as well. So as much as I like Rasmussen, he's still allowing plenty of contact. Not a huge K guy overall. So for that reason, I think I'm going to end up out. Game has a total of 9, juice to the under. If anybody, I end up on Lauer. Baltimore, Boston, game 2 of the doubleheader. Giolito against now it's Trevor Rogers. Originally it was Charlie Morton. I'm going to have to dig into some more numbers here just to see. But with that said, I think both pitchers are going to be in play. I don't love it. Both pitchers probably going to be pretty volatile, but both teams are striking out plenty right now. Neither pitcher has props yet because it is game 2 of a doubleheader. We don't love using Giolito all that much, but I mean he showed he can dominate against some teams. And I think just both offenses in this game have struggled enough. Rogers has not looked good in his minor league rehab starts. So that is a worry. But just before I filmed this or started recording this, Alex Bregman left game 1 limping. I would guess he sits out game 2. It's a pretty big bet to take out a lineup against Rogers. So now I'm intrigued. I'm hoping I can see some props before this game gets going just so I can get a better read on it. But for now, both pitchers are going to be in play, even though I think they are both super volatile. So it's Coney and Jackson Jobe. Jobe and the Tigers are minus 120 favorites. Game total of 9, juice to the under. Both pitchers have K props of 4.5. Jobe's juice to the under Ciccone juiced over. I can go both ways on this game. I could pass on both pitchers. I could utilize both pitchers. Joe, bigger name. Certainly viable. I think Cleveland's a little weaker offensively this season, and we've seen it. It's just, the K's have been up the last couple, but walks are a huge issue. I don't really love that at all. I think if I use either one, or if I feel like I'm going to use either one, it's going to be Slade. Pretty strong in the K department in his debut. Former pitcher for Arizona. I think Detroit has some strikeouts. Bibee shut them down and dominated them yesterday. Obviously, he's a stronger pitcher than Slade is, but I do think Slade is an interesting spot. So I might gamble with him, but it's 3 games in and we just have fringe pitching for us. Kind of going to get fringe pitching here in the 4th game. Kershaw struggled mightily in his first start against a team that was striking out plenty. Taking on a Mets team that is struggling a lot. I think they've scored 13 runs over the last 6 games, averaging like 3.5 runs per game in May. They're just not hitting. They're not striking out a ton, though, but just not hitting. So it is an interesting spot, but I just don't think I can use Kershaw. I think it's more of a wait and see with Kershaw at this point. Canning, I didn't write any props down for either of these pitchers. Canning has been phenomenal this year, to be honest. The only runs allowed over the last 3 games have been home runs, solo home runs. I just don't think I want to utilize him against the Dodgers. Some of the Dodgers bats actually have strong numbers against Canning, I did notice. Pivetta, Sale, very intriguing. Lowest game total on the slate at 7.5. Sale's K-prop 6.5 juice to the over. Pivetta's 5.5 juice to under. A little shocked that his K-prop's under 5.5. Can have home run issues, yes, but he has such strong upside, K ability, etc. Absolutely dominated Atlanta early in the season, versus start of the season. Atlanta is minus 170 favorites. Pivetta's plus 230 to earn the W, which seems kind of extreme. Chris Sale's plus 135 to earn the W. That K-prop is 6.5 juice to the over. Very intriguing because we're used to San Diego not striking out a ton, though they have been recently. Toronto pitching staff actually picked up a few strikeouts against them, which caught me off guard. With that said, Sale, 8+ strikeouts in 4 straight starts and 5 of his last 6. Probably a very good spot for us to get a decent chunk of exposure to pitchers. Obviously, we have to pay a decent price tag for it. Texas and the White Sox. Tyler Mahle, definitely. A guy that's underlying numbers just keep saying that things aren't going to keep going as well as they have been, but yet he keeps getting things done. Game total of 8, juice to the over. K-prop of 4.5, juice to the over. He's minus 110 to earn the W. Texas is a minus 192 favorite. All right. Had to pause the recording for a second there, but yeah, Mahle, White Sox, obviously great matchup. We're not really going to skip over, Mahle. We don't really expect his regression to hit when he's taking on a team like the White Sox. Ryan Gusto, somebody that intrigues me somewhat, but he also has not gone more than 2 1/3 since the end of April. We're looking at almost a month. I really want to use him. His K-prop's 4.5 juice to the under, but he's plus 450 to earn the W despite Houston being minus 125 favorites. Just don't think we can go there. And I'm not really using Hancock at this point. Kansas City, Minnesota, a game that I really like pitching in. Going to look at the weather. Couldn't remember what Minnesota was like. 60, blowing in slightly. Pretty good spot for pitching. So, Pablo Lopez has been pretty phenomenal in 2 out of his last 3 starts. Was solid against Kansas City early in the season. Racked up pitch count, so he didn't go deep enough. But 4 2/3 and still putting up over 20. That's obviously solid. Lopez and the Twins minus 198 favorites. Game total's 8, juice to the under. Second lowest total for us. His K prop's 5.5, juice to the over, which puts him at third on the K list for this main slate. It's plus 120 to earn the W. On the other side, Noah Cameron, somebody that we've been on twice now. Not a huge K guy at the major league level yet. I think he's been a strong K guy, strong-ish K guy in the minors, though. So there is K upside. Just 1 run allowed at the major league level. 3 hits through 2 starts. Walks completely disappeared in the second start, which is obviously a good sign. K prop of 3, just 3.5. Juice to the over, though. Doesn't have win odds yet, but I still think he's in a decent spot. And Minnesota versus left-handed pitching have been pretty bad, especially without Buxton and Correa. I think those are the only 2 guys on the team that have ISOs over 150-ish. I looked at it earlier today as a Twins fan. But with those 2 guys out, this lineup against left-handed pitching, super weak. So I think Cameron is a guy that we want to be exposed to on this slate. Arizona, St. Louis, Zach Gallen let us down mightily. Zach Gallen is plus 135 to earn the W. Same number as Chris Sale. Just slightly behind a guy like Pablo Lopez. K-Prop 4.5, juice to the over. Do we go back to Gallen? That's the big question. I'm not sure what to do here. A couple of rough starts in a row. One of those came against the Colorado Rockies, who we've been picking on. His road numbers have been phenomenal. K rate through the roof. Everything looks great. I am willing to give him a shot in this particular spot. But if I start getting to too many pitchers that I am very interested in when my pool finally comes together, I will not have a problem removing Zach Gallen in this matchup. Yankees, Rockies, Clark Schmidt. I do have some worries. Walks can be a pretty big issue for Schmidt, and obviously pitches don't move as much in Colorado. Walks, I do believe, tend to be up in this ballpark. You can look at some park factors here. This year alone, actually the Rockies ballpark, fewer walks this year, so I guess it's kind of goes against what I was thinking. But there's actually fewer strikeouts. It's kind of off screen, but it's a below average strikeout park as well, which is kind of shocking. With that said, obviously we know that the Rockies strike out a ton. Schmidt's K-prop's at 5.5, juice to the over. He's minus 120 to earn the W, which is second best and even better than Tyler Mahle is on this slate. I think we just have to utilize him some. I don't think we have to go overboard. I'm not really sure what his projected ownership is yet, but on a 12-game slate, I don't expect it to be super strong. Kikuchi, Alcantara. Kikuchi's certainly going to be in play. Kind of expect him to carry some ownership. K-prop 5.5, juice to the over. Plus 170 to earn the W. Angels minus 155 favorites. Angels have been swinging it well and winning games. Alcantara, I wasn't thinking I was going to be on him other than the fact that the Angels strike out plenty. But when you compare him to Kikuchi, he has the same K-prop at 5.5, juice to the over. And he's plus 180 to earn the W, which is right behind Kikuchi's plus 170. There are things kind of pointing towards Alcantara showing up a little bit in this game, despite his season-long numbers being atrocious at this point. But I think I'd rather play like Zach Gallen. But Alcantara's in play, I guess, for now. Last guy that's going to be in play, Zach Wheeler. Just strong against everybody. Arguably the best actual pitcher in baseball, to be honest. Couple rough starts earlier in the year, but aside from those, has been 20-plus fantasy points in all but 2 starts. So it's 8 of 10 starts, 20-plus fantasy points. K-prop 6.5, juice to the over, minus 135 during the W, which is the largest number, or the best number on the slate. So there you have it. There's our first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. Links will be in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off. And as always, best of luck, everybody.